right, so today we're going to start with algebraic expressions, and we're going to do a bit of vocabulary first. We're going to remember what everything is called, and then we're going to answer a couple of questions about that, just to make sure that everybody knows what we're talking about when we say this and we say that. All right, first thing we're going to note, guys, is if we've got an X or a Y or a letter or a D or an A or a B, these things are called variables. Okay, they're called variables, and they just stand in place of some number that we don't know yet. Okay, so X and Y in this case are our variables, and the numbers in front of our variables are called the coefficient. This tells us how many. This tells us how many. Okay, so when I ask you, how many X's do I have? You're going to say, you have 3 X's, ma'am. And that's how coefficient works. Now, if I asked you, how many Y's do I have? You're going to say, you have 5 Y's, ma'am. And that's basically how the idea of a coefficient works, but we're going to get to that. All right, this duty over here that sits without an X or a Y, anybody who sits all by themselves, this dude, he is called a coefficient. Oh, not a coefficient, sorry, a constant. He's called a constant because no matter what X and Y is, let's say, for instance, X was 1 and Y was 2. Whatever the answer we get from that, from multiplying over there, we're always going to have to minus 9 from it. Doesn't matter what it is, whatever answer you get at the end, minus 9. If X is equal to 3 and Y is equal to 5, whatever answer you get from multiplying that, minus 9 from it. So the constant is the thing that we're always going to do. So at the end of everything, we're still going to minus 9 at the end. Okay, so that's why we call it a constant. And then we're going to have to count up how many terms we have. Now, when we count up how many terms we have, we're going to look at them being split by a plus or a minus. Okay, so I'm going to split this number here and here, this over here. This first one is my first term. That one over there is my second term. And that one over there is my third term. Now, I want you guys to note, before we continue, that's it, Karabo, excellent stuff. I want you guys to note that when I split my terms, when I split them, I always make sure that the sign in front of it goes with the number itself. So this number over here, the constant is not 9. 9 is not the constant. The constant is negative 9, not 9, negative 9, because the sign in front of every number is what comes with it. Now, I want to ask you guys, what is the sign sitting here in front of 3? If any number is ever sitting on its own, what is the sign that goes along with this number? That's it, Warabile, excellent. It's positive, good. It's a plus. So we already know that this number over here is a plus. And we want to remember that, because if I decide to rearrange this thing and I write this as 5y minus 9, and I want to take this 3x to the back, if I want to write it at the back, I can't just write 3x. What am I going to put in between here? In that middle part over there, I need to write plus 3x. Okay, because the 3x goes along with the plus sign. Okay, so we need to remember that, guys. Anything that's on its own, standing on its own like this, without a sign in front, we automatically assume that the sign is positive. Give me a thumbs up if all of that makes sense. Are we okay with that? Good. And Karabo, it's not a plus minus, it's just a plus. Okay. Excellent, excellent stuff. All right, amazing. All right, let's do a little bit of work over here in this table that we've got. Right, now this table gives us an expression. They've given us the expression over here, x squared minus 4x. Ooh, excuse me, x squared minus 4x plus 3. I need 1, 2, 3, 4 volunteers. And Tando didn't even waste time. I think Tando knew what I was going to say. Tando knew exactly what I was going to say and put a hand up immediately. Immediately. All right. Tando, how are you doing?
I'm fine, and you, ma'am?
I'm excellent. Are you ready to answer some of these questions for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. All right. Let's look at this first expression for number 1. We're going to call this number 1. How many terms do I have over here?
1, 3, ma'am.
3, good. We have 3. We can split them. We can draw our term lines over there. And that's 3 terms. Excellent work. Well done. 3 terms. Right. Now I want the coefficient of x. So what number is in front
4,
of,
ma'am.
what is it?
4, ma'am.
Oh, it's not 4, remember.
Oh,
The
-4, sorry.
Good. The sign in front of it. So the coefficient of x is -4.
-4.
Good. What is my constant?
3, ma'am.
Good. My constant is 3. Now we can say 3. We don't have to say +3 because even if we say +3 or 3, same difference. Same. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right. What is my variable? What variables do I have in this expression that we've got over here?
X, ma'am.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I'm going to have to switch this thing off because it's going to mess me up. All right. X. Excellent. So we know that the variables that we've used in this is X. And Tando, I feel like there was no need for you to be here for the first 10 minutes because you know everything. You just know it all.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. Love to see it. Amazing stuff. Very, very well done. All right, Bridget, do you want to do the next one with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Okay. There's quite a lag. There's quite a lag on your mic, but let's see if we can get through this one quickly. All right. Now, tell me, how many terms do I have in this next expression, number 2?
Ma'am, we have 4 terms.
Good. Let's count. We're going to split them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. There are 4 of them. Cool. All right. Bridget, tell me, what is my coefficient of x, y?
+3, ma'am.
Beautiful. I even love how you added positive there. +3. Yes. Love to hear it. +3. Excellent. What is my constant?
+4, ma'am.
Beautiful. +4. And what are my variables this time? Be very careful. What are my variables?
Ma'am, x and xy.
Good. You can't, let's not say xy, because if you say xy, you're telling me that all of them have xy, and they don't. We only have x and y. Okay. We shouldn't put them together. Otherwise, we're saying that they multiply to each other all the time, and they're not quite. So it's x and y. Bridget, you're a whole rock star. Wow, well done. Amazing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very nice. All right. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Is it Oraldine? I hope I've said that correctly.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Is it Oraldine? Am I saying that correctly?
Yes,
Ah, beautiful. Hi, Oraldine. How are you doing?
I'm fine, ma'am.
I'm good. I'm good to hear that. All right. Are you ready to help me with this next question?
Yes,
Okay, excellent. Tell me, in this expression over here, how many terms do we have?
5.
Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. But can you tell me, Oraldine, why didn't you split this one over here as well? Why didn't you split there? Why did you
Ma'am,
not?
because sums are separated by plus and minus.
Ah, just high five. Excellent. Beautiful. And this is actually a multiply. This is a multiply over here. So we can't actually say that they are 2 different terms. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful. Wow. Just, oh, stellar. 100%. Good. So 5 of them. Good. We've got 5 terms. What is the coefficient of x?
-4.
Ooh, it's not going to be -4.
Oh, +2, ma'am.
Good, because, well, actually, there's 2 of them. There's 2 of them. Let's talk about this. Okay, because you said to me that terms are only separated by plus and minus. If we had to do this, if we had to say -4x times 3, what would we get?
Oh, ma'am, we'll get -12x.
Good, -12x. Right. Now I've got a +2x over here, and I've got a -12x. So we could argue that there's 2 of them. But because they're like terms, Oraldine, what can we do with like terms?
Can add them.
We can add them. Good. So can you tell me, what is -12x plus 2x?
It'll be -10x.
Beautiful. This would be -10x. So I'm going to ask you again now, Oraldine. What is the coefficient of x?
-10x.
Not negative 10x, just the coefficient would be
Oh,
negative.
negative 10.
That's it, negative 10. Very well done. Okay, there was just some work for us to do, but no worries, you did it beautifully. Very well done. All right, find me my constant term. What is my constant term here?
9.
Good, 9 or positive 9, we can say positive 9, that's fine. All right, cool. And what are my variables?
X and Y.
Good, X and Y. Amazing stuff. Very well done, Geraldine. Excellent work. Nicely done. Awesome stuff. All right, I need one more volunteer. Novuyo, are you with me? Do you want to do this next question with me?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, my sweetie. How are you doing?
Finding you, ma'am.
I'm good, thank you. All right, do you want to tell me how many terms do we have here at number 4?
2.
Good, 2 terms. And what is the coefficient of m squared?
1.
Good, 1, because we know any number sitting by itself just has a 1 in the front, right? Good, so the coefficient of m squared is 1. What is my constant?
0.
It is 0. You sound very unsure. Yes, it's 0. Because there is no constant, we can just say that the constant is 0. Technically, we have no constant. All right, now tell me, what are my variables?
M squared and M.
Okay, cool. We can say m squared and m, but because they both are a variable of m, we're just going to say m. Okay, we're going to talk about the difference between m squared and m just now, but for variable sake, we're going to say that the variable is m. And Novuyo, you did that so beautifully. Well done. Well done. Wow, 100%.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome, my sweetie. Okay, excellent. I want everybody to give me an emoji in the chat that describes how they feel about this section. I'm going to start with my emoji. I'm going to put my favorite emoji because I always feel like maths is lit. Maths is lit, so I'm going to put the fire emoji. I want you guys to pick an emoji and tell me how you feel about this section. I like, for somebody named Zoom user, you need to give us your name and let us know what your name is. I love that everybody's giving us really cool ones. I love it. Somebody just wrote Raven. I'm not sure what Raven means. You need to let us know. Oh, Zoom user's name is Raven. Oh, hi, Raven. Hi, Raven. We will change your name for you now. Hi, Raven. It's awesome to have you with us. Okay. Awesome stuff. Ah, loving it, guys. Amazing. I love everybody's emojis. You guys are so creative. I like the brain. Every time people put brains up, it makes me feel like, yeah, you know, I'm using it, ma'am. I'm using it. That's what it feels like. And it always seems so cool to see you guys use it. All right, excellent. We're going to move on to the next thing. Kanyisile, you're going to have to explain that emoji to me because I don't know what that means. I do not know what that means. Okay, we're going to be looking at factorization. Okay, so in grade 9, we do 5 different types of factorization. And I'm going to ask you guys to write this down because it comes up all the time. Your teachers are always going to test the same things over and over and over. All right. So the first thing we're going to look for every single time, the first thing we're always going to look for is for a highest common factor. Okay. Now, I would go even as far as to say that the highest common factor should be our default setting. Do we all know what a default setting is? Does anybody know what a default setting is? You know when you buy a brand new phone and there's no WhatsApp installed, there's no Google installed, there's no apps, there's no nothing. You just bought a new phone and there's nothing in it. Our default setting means the way the phone comes, okay? It basically means how the first thing that your phone looks like. Okay, it's the first thing that we do. So when I say that HCF is the default setting, what I mean is your highest common factor is the first thing you always look for. The first thing you always look for is for a highest common factor. If there is no highest common factor, then you can look for something else. Okay, give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Our default setting is HCF. Or rather, let me ask this. What is our default setting? What is our default setting? Tell me in the chat, what is the default setting whenever we are factorizing? Tell me in the chat, guys. That's it, Buntle. Good. Excellent. Our default setting is always, Amache is like HHCF, the highest common factor. I like to see it. Good. Our default setting is always highest common factor. That, guys, do you know how many times I've seen in fact, it happened in the exam that my kids were writing on Monday. We gave them this sum. We gave them 2x squared minus 30x minus 40. And when they all saw the sum, they all put up their hands and were like, ma'am, we can't factorize this thing. We can't factorize this thing. But there's an HCF. We first have to take out the HCF. What would my HCF mean? What would my HCF be over here? What is my highest common factor that all of these things have in common? Good, Bunke, that's it. The first thing we would have to do is first take out a highest common factor of 2. And then we divide everything by 2. So you get x squared minus 15x minus 20. And then everybody was like, oh, ma'am, you think you're clever. Yes, because our default setting is always to take out a highest common factor. Otherwise, they never would have seen that it was a trinomial. So we must always look for a highest common factor first. Yes, Novuyo?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you please explain the difference of 2 squares and the trinomial?
That's what we're getting to now. That's what I'm going to get to. That's what's next. Okay. I'm going to explain. Okay. I wasn't going to stop at just highest common factor. We were going to continue. Don't stress. Okay. Now, because Novuyo is like jumping the gun, the second thing we always look for is difference of 2 squares. Now, difference of 2 squares is called dots. Okay. Now, let me ask you guys. The word difference, the D in dots over here stands for difference. What does difference mean in mathematics, guys? Who knows? What does difference mean? Good, Oliver. Yes, Ndiviwe, excellent, Tiro. That's it. Yes, Amache. It means minus. It means minus. Right. Then the next thing that we're going to note is that this thing says that we need 2, because the T stands for 2, and then the S stands for squares. It stands for squares. Squares. Okay. And what that actually means is if I have 2 numbers that are squared and they have a minus in between, we can then find the difference between them. So if I've got x squared minus 4, then I've got x squared, which is a squared number, and 4, which is a squared number because it's a perfect square. Its square root is 2. I can then open 2 brackets, put a plus in one and a minus in the other, and Amatha, you're doing excellently, that's it. And then I'm going to take the square root of both my sums, of both my squares. So the square root of x squared is x, so I'm going to put x here and x there. And the square root of 4 is 2 and 2. Okay, now I want to ask you guys, just like Amasha has done in the chat, if I gave you guys this, if I said I've got x squared minus 25, is this a difference of squares? Yes or no? Good, it's a difference of squares. It is, because x squared, perfect square. 25, perfect square. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open two brackets. I'm going to put a plus in the one, a minus in the other, and then I'm going to square root both my numbers. Square root, square root. The square root of x squared is x, so I'm going to put x and x. And the square root of 25 is, thank you, Buntle, it is 5 and 5. Yes, Tando.
Ma'am, just out of curiosity, when we write plus and minus on the two brackets, does it have to be plus then minus, or can it be minus then plus?
No, you can put minus and plus. Do you know why, Tando? Because negative times a positive is a negative, and a positive times a negative is also a negative. The order doesn't matter. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Nice question, by the way. Good question. If you put the plus and then the minus, or you put the minus and then the plus. Okay. I want somebody to factorize this one for me. If I gave you guys x squared plus 9, I need somebody to factorize this for me. Mulebogeng?
Ma'am, is it a must to put brackets?
Yes, because brackets mean multiplication.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's a good one. All right, that's also a good question. You must put the brackets in. Okay. Kamugelo, can you factorize this one for me, this dots for me? Kamugelo. Okay, Kamugelo isn't unmuting. We're going to come back to you, my sweetie. Amahle?
No, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, it's x minus 3, x minus 3.
I say no. I say no.
Okay.
I say no. And I want somebody to tell me why. Amahle, it's not. It's absolutely not. Asande, what do you think? Oh, Kamugelo, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, there we go. Hi, Kamugelo, how are you doing?
Hi, ma'am. I'm fine, thanks, ma'am.
Was I just speaking to you a second ago?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good, good. Okay, okay. So, Kamugelo, I say no. It's not x plus 3, x minus 3. It's not.
No, ma'am,
Okay.
it's x minus 3, x minus 3.
No, it's not that either.
Ma'am, a negative of a negative is a positive, though.
Yes, but if I did that, I would get a middle term. Okay. How do I factorize this, Kamugelo? Okay, think about it. Think about it. Okay. Olebogeng, what do you say?
You take x plus 3
No,
into
no, it's not. It's not, Olebogeng. Ashley, what do you say? Can I factorize this? Is this dots? Bukang, what do you think?
ma'am, we apply two brackets.
No, no two brackets. Nope, no two brackets. Unfortunately not. No two brackets. Amahle, what do you say?
Ma'am, I'm not sure, but do we do the difference of two squares?
Can we?
Because it's a positive.
That's it. Can we do dots with a positive in the middle?
I am not sure.
No, absolutely not. What does the D in dots stand for?
The D.
Yes, the D in different. What is difference? What does difference mean?
Subtract.
It means subtract. Do I have a subtract in the middle?
No, you have a
No. Do I have a common factor that I can take out?
3.
Oh, no, I can't. X squared doesn't have a 3.
1.
It's 1, but there'll be no point in taking out 1. Okay, so what we actually notice, Amahle, is that we cannot factorize this thing. It's already factorized, in fact. There's nothing we can do, really. Okay.
Okay.
There's nothing we can do. I was hoping somebody would pick up on it, and I'm glad Amahle did. And I'm going to explain for all of you who are saying, ma'am, x plus 3 and x plus 3. Let me show you what happens if I write x plus 3 and x plus 3 and I FOIL. If I do FOIL, first, outer, inner, last, I'm going to end up with x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. That's going to give me x squared plus 6x plus 9. I now have a middle term that I didn't have before. If I use x minus 3 and x minus 3, I'm going to have the same problem, guys. If I FOIL, I'm going to end up with x squared minus 3x plus 9. That's going to give me x squared minus 6x plus 9. I end up with a middle term that I didn't have before. Okay, so we cannot factorize x squared plus 9. There is no middle term that we can find. There is no HCF. There's no highest common factor that we can take out. None of it. The difference of two squares only works when we have a difference. Thank you, Teacher Simone. I stole your words exactly the way you wrote them on there. The difference of squares only works if we have a minus. Yes, Busisiwe. Busisiwe, prime 9 is not a prime number, my sweetie. 9 has more than 2 factors. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Tepang. I'm sorry. Okay. You don't write undefined. Buhle, you can just say cannot factorize. Okay. You just say cannot factorize. Okay. And then if the question was worth 3 marks, your teacher now has to give you 3 marks for you just writing cannot factorize. Okay. Busisiwe, it's not. 9 is not a prime number. Okay. It's not a prime number because I can multiply 1 and 9 and 3. Okay. It's not a prime number. Now, if I asked you guys to factorize for me x squared minus 9, can we then factorize this? Absolutely. I want you guys to factorize this in the chat for me. Factorize this for me because now I have a difference in between. Then I can do that. That's it, Sepang. Well done. Okay, awesome stuff. Now that I know I have a difference of 2 squares, I can open 2 brackets. I can put a plus and a minus and put an x for x squared, and the square root of 9 will be 3 and 3. If you put the minus first, it doesn't matter. Okay. Akumzi, do you have a question, my sweetie?
No, ma'am. I just want to do a different question.
Oh, okay. All right, no worries.
From the class.
No worries. Can I give you a question to do quickly?
Okay.
Cool. All right. I'm going to give you this question. I'm going to say 2x squared minus 50.
Huh?
Now, Akumzi, I want you to think of our default setting. What is our default setting? Help Akumzi out in the chat, guys. What is our default setting? What do we need to look for first, Akumzi? What's the first thing we need to look for?
We need to look for the highest common factor, which is
which is
2.
Good. If we take 2 out, good. If we take 2 out, what do we have left?
We have x squared minus 50.
Not minus 50. You still also have to take 2 out of 50. What would that leave us with? Divide, by the way.
So like 50. So 50 divided by 2.
Yeah, that's it.
25.
Good, 25. Excellent. Now, what do I see inside my bracket over here, Kumzi?
I can see.
What do I see here?
It's x squared. I mean, can you lower it down a bit?
Okay, I'm happy to. There we go.
It x squared minus 25. The
Good.
answer
And
is
how can we factorize that? How can we factorize that?
factorization. 5 times 5 is 25.
Hmm. So
Okay,
what do I
let's
need
see.
to do? I know that it's dots. So when I see dots, what do I need to do? Open. What do I need to open?
Open brackets.
Good. I need to open 2 brackets. What about my signs? What do I put in here for a sign?
Positive,
And
negative.
good. And over here, what do I put over here?
X plus 5 and x minus 5.
Beautifully done. Amazing stuff. Mwah. Well done. That's exactly what it is that we wanted. Well done, Akumzi. See, I told you, don't forget the default setting. Very well done. Don't forget the default setting. Okay, guys? The default setting, always look for a highest common factor. All right, that's dots. Now let's talk about the next one. Okay, let's talk about number 3. Akumzi, I just need you to mute for me, please, my sweetie. All right, number 3 is a trinomial. Okay, trinomial. What do we know about trinomials? How many terms do we get in trinomials? Good, we get 3 of them. Excellent. Right, somebody said, ma'am, can I please see the sum? Which sum? Please tell me which sum. Good. We know that for a trinomial, we're always going to get 3 terms. Okay, and remember not to spam, guys. Only answer the question once. Okay, we need to remember that there'll be 3 terms, and one of the terms will always be squared. So there'll be an x squared plus a 5x plus a 6. Okay, now as soon as we see one of these terms x squared, what we're going to do is we're immediately going to open 2 brackets. Ooh, I lie. First, we're going to check if there's a highest common factor. Okay. We're going to check if there's a highest common factor. Is there a highest common factor? No. X, there's no x everywhere. There's no 5 everywhere. There's no 6 everywhere. There's nothing that I can take out that's common. So I'm going to open 2 brackets. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to note, guys, is that one of my brackets is definitely going to have a plus. So I'm going to take my plus and I'm going to put it in here. And then I'm going to ask myself, what do I need to multiply plus with to get plus? A plus times a what gives me a plus? A plus times a? Anybody got any idea? Plus times what equals plus? Good. A plus times a plus. Good. So that means my other bracket will also have a plus. Right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an x here and an x there. And then we're going to go to our last term. We're going to go to 6 over here. 6. And we're going to look for the factors of 6. All right. What are my factors of 6? Busisiwa, I see your hand is still up, my sweetie. Do you have a question? Is that Sibusisiwe? Sibusisiwe. Do you want to unmute for me, my sweetie? Hello?
Ma'am.
Hello? Oh no, she's muted again. All right. Okay, okay. Busisiwa, once you work out that, I want you to unmute again for me, my sweetie, and we'll have a conversation. Now, for those of you who wrote out your factors of 6 like this, 1, 2, 3, and 6. You're not completely wrong. You're not completely wrong. But we don't want you writing them out like this. I want you to write them next to each other so that when they multiply, they make 6. Because if I had to look for my factors of 6 and I need to put them in my bracket, I can't use 1 and 3. That's not going to work. Okay, because when I multiply them together, that doesn't give me 6. So I need to pair them together. So I need to say to myself, which two numbers make up 6? 3 times 2 and 1 times 6. Okay, so make sure that you are pairing them. All right, so now we need to look at two numbers. And because there's a plus here, I need to look for two numbers that will add up to 5. I know that 1 plus 6 is going to give me 7, so I can't use 1 plus 6, but I know that 2 plus 3 will give me 5. So it's going to give me the thing that I want in the middle, which means the two numbers I'm going to write over here are 3 and 2. Okay. All right, I'm just going to erase this quickly. I want you guys to try and factorize this for me. X squared minus, I need to make it up now. All right, x squared minus 7x plus 12. All right, any volunteers? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, my sweetie. How are we going to factorize this?
Ma'am, okay, ma'am, I got the highest common factors of 12 is 4 times 3.
Good, but you skipped some very important steps before we get to 4 and 3. What's the first thing we need to do?
Ma'am, drew the two brackets.
Good. And what are the signs in my bracket?
-3, -2, -3 and -4.
Good, a negative and a negative. So I'm going to get x and x
Minus.
and 3, -4. Now, we've skipped many steps and some people might not understand where we got these steps from. Okay, so we're going to have to break it down. Okay,
Yes.
What are the factors of 12 that you used? 3 times?
4.
Good, and we know that they needed to add up to give us 7, right? So 3
Yes.
plus 4 is equal to?
+12. Oh, 3 plus 4 is equals to 7. Sorry, ma'am.
Good, it's equal to 7. And the reason they're both negative is because we want -7. Very well done, Kamohelo. I think
Thank
this
you.
comes naturally to you. You're really good at it. Excellent. Well done.
Thank you,
Amazing
ma'am.
stuff. Awesome. All right. Okay. Let's look at this next one. Okay. Oh, I think maybe you guys can do this example so that we can get to the brain break. Okay. I want you guys to factorize these 3 sums over here. A, B, C, 4 sums over here. A, B, C, and D. And once you're done factorizing, pop your favorite emoji in the chat. Remember, use your emoji once, just once, guys. Okay. You can factorize all 4 of them. And when you're done, then pop your emoji in the chat. All right. Now, do not forget, guys, default setting. Remember our default setting. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what I did here. I know what teacher did. Coco did. Yeah, I need to remove that. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, remember your default setting. Okay, sure. Somebody says, ma'am, please give me an example of a trinomial. I want to do it myself. Absolutely. Here is one. Okay, x squared minus 8x minus 9. There we go. You can try that one. Okay. There it is, Sibusisiwe. You can try that one. Okay. Yes, Kamohelo?
Ma'am, can we answer this?
Oh, no, not yet. I want everybody to catch up. Okay, let's give
Okay,
everybody a chance to try it for themselves first. Okay.
Okay,
In just, Kamohelo, you're too fast for me. Like, you're just like, ma'am, let's go. Let's, breathe. Give everybody a chance. We'll just give everybody a couple of minutes to get to all of them, and then we'll have a quick chat. Okay, and I'm going to go through them very fast because I want to do the brain break. It's pretty fun today. Okay. Can you see that? What does DN mean? Does that mean done? Oh, okay, awesome. Amache, is that a question or do you just want to answer questions?
Ma'am, I'm done. I
Oh,
want to
okay.
answer.
Okay, I want you to keep your hand up and then we'll talk just now.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Excellent. All right, excellent. I'm going to give everybody else an extra 10 seconds because I feel like everybody's done now. Who I have to ask to, who is Cool Experience? Somebody here is called Cool Experience, and that is the coolest name I've ever heard. Yep, I agree. It's a cool experience. Yeah, it is. All right. Okay, we're going to start answering these questions, guys. Let's look at this first one over here. Amache, can you tell me number A? Oh, number A. Phew, teacher Coco. All right. What kind of factorization are we doing for A?
Ma'am?
For A, what kind of factorization do we need to do here?
Yo, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm not sure, but then ma'am, I have the working out.
Okay, cool. What did you do?
So ma'am, I wrote ne, anchor it's m squared minus 9. So next to the m I wrote 1 and then which is equals to a brackets x minus 1 brackets x minus 3. Is it right?
No, unfortunately not, my sweetie. All right, think about what kind of factorization we need to do. We've learned about 3 of them. Which one are we going to do between HCF, dots, and trinomial? Do we have a highest common factor, Amache?
Ma'am?
Do we have a highest common factor in m squared minus 9?
Yeah.
Does m squared and negative 9 have anything in common?
No.
No, they don't. But I know that I can find the square root of m squared, and I can also find the square root of 9, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So what kind of factorization are we doing if I can find the square root of 2 numbers with a minus in the middle, with a difference in the middle?
Ma'am, isn't it the difference of 2 squares?
It is. It's the difference of 2 squares. So what do I need to do?
Ma'am?
Oh, what do I need to open? 2
brackets, ma'am.
Good. 2 brackets. What are the signs inside my brackets?
Negative.
And?
Positive.
Good. And then what is the square root of m squared?
1. No. Square root of what, ma'am?
M squared.
Square? What's in when? No, ma'am.
Remember, we need to find the square root of both numbers. What is the square root of m squared? Check the chat.
Isn't it?
Helping you. Check in the chat.
Isn't it 1?
It's not 1.
2. Ma'am, then 1. Then, ma'am, what is it? Because, yeah.
Check in the chat.
Ma'am, the chat says m. 1 m.
M. It is m because the square root and the m will cancel each other out. What do I have left, Amache?
Oh, okay.
M. I have m, so I'm going to put it.
Ma'am, I didn't quite get the difference of 2 squares, ma'am. So
okay, but in this case, that's exactly what we needed to do to answer this question. Okay, the square root of, the difference of 2 squares. What is the square root of 9, though, Amache?
The what, ma'am?
The square root of 9.
The square root of 9. Oh, Jesus. Ma'am, it's
which
3.
number multiplied by itself?
3.
3. Good. 3. So I'm going to put 3 over here and 3 over there. Okay, that is the answer I was looking for.
Okay. Ma'am, I used trinomials.
It can't be a trinomial. How many terms do we need for a trinomial?
Ma'am, 3, ma'am.
3. Do I have 3 terms?
No, ma'am.
No, so I can't use trinomials for something that only has 2 terms. It
Yes,
needs to
ma'am. Like I said before, ma'am, I didn't quite get the difference of 2 squares.
That's okay, my sweetie. It takes practice. Okay, it won't just come naturally. We need to practice. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome, my sweetie. Okay, Andiswa, do you want to answer the next one for me?
Yes, ma'am.
My sweetie, what do we see about number? What do we see about number?
Ma'am, I think it's the highest common factor.
Excellent. What is my highest common factor?
It's M.
Good. If I take M out, what do I have left?
You will have 2n squared.
Hmm?
Ma'am, don't you say 2n squared m times m divided by m?
Good. I need to divide this one by M and this one by M. It needs to be both of them.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I divide by M over here, what do I have left?
If you say 2n squared m divided by m is equal to 2n squared plus
Good.
3.
Plus 3. Don't forget the plus 3. That's it. That's the answer I was looking for. Excellent stuff. Well done, Andiswa.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. For the sake of time, Siamtanda, do you want to do the next one? We're going to have to do it very quickly. Okay.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, my boy. How are we going to factorize? What kind of factorization are we looking at here?
Of trinomials.
Beautiful, because there are 3 things and one of them is squared. Good. So what am I going to do?
So it's going to be open brackets y minus 4, close brackets, and open them again, y minus 2.
Beautifully done. Excellent. Well done, Siamtanda. Amazing.
Thank you.
Well done. All right. Okay. For the sake of time, I'm going to do the last one. And I'm going to notice that if I use my default setting, all of them have x in common. So I'm going to take x out. Okay. So we're going to have x as a common factor. And if I divide everything by x, I'm going to have 3x minus 4y plus 20z. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't factorize that. There's nothing I can do with that. So the only factorization we would have is highest common factor. All right.